Just going to go through the operation and features on the steam locomotive real quick. I know I've got videos of the install out there, but I want to show just from an operational standpoint. So, of course, one turns on your headlight. You can see the number board on the side of the headlight lights up. I want to turn that off just because it's a little loud. Now, I didn't do that. It's a random coal shoveling. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and pull it forward some so we're more in the light. All right. Now, some of the other lights that I've added include, and I'm not sure how well it's going to pick it up, the Firebox, along with what would be like the Firebox flicker. It kind of really looks like coal inside there and embers. Okay, that's on function 24. 25 are the step lights. You can see at the top of both ladders coming up on both sides. And at the back of the cab, each corner. We've got one on the other side as well. I saw a video of one of these where they actually they're kind of like, well, they are truck lights, but they had put one over each wheel, and I thought that was a pretty cool effect. So that's what this is on function 26. And then you got your marker light. That's the original marker light. It's plastic, and if I remember correctly, it was just, I think it just was either black or it might have been painted. But I drilled 2 tiny holes in there and put an LED inside. So if I bring the light down just a little bit, you can see that it's still a bit too bright, but this is a yellow amber. It looks almost white here, but I can't get it any darker. It just keeps wanting to go bright. But it's got that, of course, on both sides, the marker lights. And those are quite tiny. There's my finger. I was gonna go try to put a type of kit, like a brass kit or something, but the way those come out on an angle, I decided to just go ahead and use what was already there. And every one of these lights are LEDs. I'm gonna try to turn off the light here real quick. See how it looks. Well, you get a little more yellow, but it really is kind of washing it out here. It really has a beautiful yellow look to it, and the green This almost looks just a touch on the blue in the video, but it's not. It's green. And then again, you got your lights. I'll go ahead and turn those back off. 24, 25, 26, and 27. It has 4 speakers, 4 cube speakers in the tender. And I believe you have about 40 or more bells. And you can change the rate, the amount of reverb. I mean, there's so many settings on these. When it's moving, you can press F5, and what that does is it will simulate the locomotive just coasting. So if the locomotive's going downhill, you're only going to hear the rod clank. And let me see if I can demonstrate that here. You hear a lot less chuff. There you go. So what you were hearing there, that almost sounds like someone kind of smacking pans together, is the rod clank. Hear that? Now normally it's going to be chuffing. So if I press F6, it'll bring that back. And then F7 engages your brakes. They have this on the diesel as well. I have it programmed. It may be a little hard to hear, but if you're going uphill, instead of hearing the rod clank, you'll hear more of the labored engine sound. So I'll put my finger in front of the locomotive so you can hear that. So on the diesels, it'll notch up. On the steam locomotives, the chuff just gets much louder. And then this is page 5 of the steam decoder, Tsunami 2. So all of these are your functions. And I've shown the headlight, the bell, the whistle. But you have cylinder cocks. The cutoff plus and minus is what I was showing, where if you hit F5, and it's not just once, I think it's several times, like up to 5 or 6 different times, then that would simulate the locomotive is just cruising and it's not really having to pull hard, so you hear the rods much more than the chuff. But pressing F6 brings back the chuff. F7 dims the front light. F8, I'll go ahead and press that. What that does is it mutes the locomotive. Then you've got your F9 on here is grade signal crossing. So it'll do two long whistle blast, a short and then a long again. Then you have blowdown, and I did press brake. And that's what you hear when it squeal. When you hear the squealing when the train is coming to a stop. And then you can select train between independent and train brake by pressing F12. So if it's just a train by itself, you're just going to hear the train squeal when it comes to a stop. If you have cars, if it's pulling cars and any of those cars have the Soundtrack's sound car decoder, those cars will squeal, and the only sound you'll hear from the engine is the sound, the compressed air sound going out to those cars. So you can see all those all the way up to 24. We've got, let's see, I'll turn the sound back on. 22 is your cab chatter. If you leave that on, it'll randomly, you'll hear cab chatter. And then 23 is your all aboard. All aboard! And then the rest of the functions, 24 through 27, are the ones that I'd shown for the lighting effects.